first week postpartum. It is very interesting. Oh, the pain is real. The tiredness is real, but it's all worth it. It really is. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about what to expect, the things that I didn't expect to go through 1 week postpartum. In the past, every time I've heard mums say it's so worth it, like all the tiredness, all the things, all the pain, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. It better be freaking worth it. It actually is, so it's good. It's good, it really is. So guys, I had a baby. Yep, I had a baby, and with that came so many things I really didn't expect, and especially the first week postpartum has been interesting. Firstly, let's talk about baby for a second. Oh, I can't explain the feeling of being a mum. I never thought I'd actually end up being a mum. I just couldn't see it happening, and now that I am, it's the most incredible feeling in the world. Everything I'm going to talk about in this video, she makes it all worth it, no matter how tired I get. Everything, all the things that come with it, all the pain that comes with everything. Just looking at her little face makes it all worth it. I completely get what it means to be a parent now. But in saying that, there are so many things that I have gone through this week that I really didn't expect to happen at all. So I want to share my experience as a first-time mum, going through everything firsthand to hopefully help some other first-time mums out there, or if you're thinking of having kids, kind of what expectations to have. Because really, nobody talks about these things, and it can be very, very daunting, and there's a lot of surprises that happen along the way. Some good, some not so good. So yeah. Now, this is going to vary from person to person because I had a vaginal birth. I didn't have to be induced. Obviously, no C-section for me. So my experience is going to be very different from somebody who has had a C-section or someone who's had to be induced for their birthing process. Keep that in mind. This isn't one size fits all. It's just my experience and some of the things that I've gone through this past week that I think you should all know about. So first things first, I did not expect to be so swollen after giving birth. I didn't really get much swelling during my pregnancy. I'd have my days, especially if I ate a very high sodium meal or didn't drink enough water. I noticed the next day I would wake up very, very puffy, especially in my fingers, my hands, obviously in your ankles, but I was quite fortunate not to have a huge amount of swelling. After the birth, due to the epidural, just to all the drugs, the medications and drugs that they give you during the birthing process, and just the fact that your body is holding onto a lot of fluid during pregnancy, you need a lot more fluid volume, you have a higher blood volume. That has to go somewhere after the birth. There's not as much circulation going through your body with the baby in you once the baby is out. So you get a lot of pooling of fluid. I did expect this to an extent, but not to the extent that it happened. I was so swollen to the point where I was heavier post giving birth, or I felt heavier. I didn't actually weigh myself. I felt so much heavier and bigger compared to when I was pregnant. I literally didn't have an ankle. I had like severe, I wouldn't even call it cankles. I would call it thankles because it came from my thigh all the way down to my foot. Was literally the same thickness, well, almost. Even hubby, he looked at me and was like, wow, you don't have a knee, which I didn't. And it was so uncomfortable, and I actually packed a outfit to leave the hospital, which included sneakers and like shoes and whatever, and nothing fit. I couldn't even put a shoe on. My thongs or flip-flops, depending on where you're from, just didn't even barely fit my foot. It was like that for maybe, I want to say by about day 6, 7, it started going down a little bit. By about day 8, it kind of subsided a lot. I just woke up one day and went, wow, I have ankles again. Yes, I have ankles. It was super uncomfortable, but what you have to do is just drink a lot of water. It's nothing, there's nothing you can do about it. Don't take anything for it. Don't try and take a diuretic. Don't try and take, you know, anything to flush it out of your system. Just a lot of water, and it's something that's going to go down by itself once your hormones do what they need to do, once your body does what it needs to do. It's very normal. I just wish I knew to the extent. So make sure you pack something very comfortable to leave the hospital with. I literally just was wearing my husband's t-shirts and pants and shorts and whatever, and compression socks was something that worked really well for me. So yeah, expect to be very swollen. I know a lot of women who haven't had that, but for me, I was super swollen just all over, and particularly in my legs and my feet. It was next level. That wasn't fun. And this brings me to talk about our body weight. So firstly, you're all swollen, fluid retained, you feel massive. Just don't even jump on the scale. Do me a favor, do not jump on the scale. I didn't want to. I said, I'm not gonna weigh myself this first week until the end of the first week. And to my surprise, I actually lost 10 pounds, but baby was 5.4 pounds at birth, and then the rest is fluid. So it's not a huge amount of any kind of weight loss, which I didn't expect anyway. But you kind of in the back of your mind think, oh, maybe it's just all gonna fall off me in the first week. I kind of had this little hope, and I knew realistically that wasn't gonna happen. And I'm not that kind of body type that's just gonna snap right back in terms of dropping weight or anything like that. It's not even my focus at the moment at all. And but it's just kind of interesting. Like, I think you can't have that expectation of you're going to drop a lot of weight straight away. It really does take a long time. It's going to take months, and you do still have a belly. Remember that your uterus has grown over 9 months to this, you know, fit of watermelon in there. It has to contract back slowly over time. That's something I did expect that, but again, I think it's something that, you know, I need to reiterate, especially to any first-time mums. Don't put that pressure on yourself, especially straight away. You need to keep eating, especially if you're breastfeeding, to support your milk supply, making sure baby has enough nutrients and you're making enough milk to feed baby. So don't stop eating. You need to eat a lot, and just don't have that expectation of, I need to get back into shape. And trust me, you won't. Your baby is just going to be your whole world. I'm telling you right now. That's something else actually I didn't expect. I wasn't that mum that kind of loved being pregnant. I really didn't. I didn't like being pregnant, and it's okay. I'm just not one of those people. And I just thought, oh, you know, I don't know if I'm going to bond with my baby. I didn't feel super bonded, or, you know, prior to her kind of coming out of me. And even the first day or two, it took a little while for me to just like have this huge amount of like love. And I did, but it's okay if you don't have that straight away. But after a few days, once your hormones kind of, you know, settle down a little bit, she is just incredible, and you will get this huge overwhelming feeling of love for them, and you just want to make sure that they're safe and that they're protected and that they're happy and healthy. And trust me, weight loss is not going to be on your mind whatsoever. Trust me. And if it is, let it go. Just let it go. Give yourself a good 9 months to get back to that. Okay? So I know popping a baby out is going to have some consequences in terms of things down there and pain and stuff. I didn't expect this, but I think this depends on obviously what happens. I had to have a grade 2 episiotomy. I heard him do the snipping. I heard the snips happening. Luckily I couldn't feel a thing because of the epidural. Thank you, epidural. You were amazing. But I literally heard him do the snip. As he was doing it, I was like, I'm laying there trying to push this baby out, thinking, I know what you're doing. I know what's happening. Oh, and I felt him like tugging when he was stitching it back up. Oh, yeah, that made things a little bit more painful. Basically, he had to do it just to get the baby out. That's going to be in the birthing video. I'm going to share that later. Yeah. Oh, that was like my worst nightmare, having the snips happen, and they happened. Oh, I didn't expect it to hurt so much. A few days later, advice, take the pain medication that they offer you. Take it. Just take it. It helps a lot. Yeah, you're going to be very sore in the vajay for a little while, a good week. I didn't start feeling better until after the first week in terms of that kind of region. Pretty prepared to waddle everywhere. I was like waddling. It is quite challenging because you know, you're lifting baby up and down all the time. You're breastfeeding. You're trying to do things. You're just trying to be human. Trying to shower is interesting. Trying to just pee and go to the toilet and poop is interesting. That first anxiety feeling of when you have to poop after you've given birth. Actually, you know what? It wasn't that bad. The anticipation for me was worse than the actual event itself. So that was okay for me. It wasn't too bad. I think the snips didn't go as far down as I thought they did, which was good. But be prepared to take some stool softeners. They were a lifesaver. Lifesaver, lifesaver, lifesaver. You need the stool softeners post-delivery. That's the biggest thing, is you don't think about having to go to the toilet and doing everything you need to do afterwards, and obviously you've just done something major. You've pushed a human out of you, and you may have had some snips and stitches and things like that, and you're healing and your body is gone through something completely major, and you don't expect all the pain that comes with it. Be prepared for that. Take everything you can from the hospital that they give you to comfort those areas. The first week in that sense was brutal. Everything hurt. Just sitting was uncomfortable. Expect that. Expect those things, and take the things that you can from the hospital that are going to help soothe things down there. The nurses were great. They were like, take this, take this, take this. Which Hazel's amazing, and the little squirty bottles, Peri bottles, amazing. You can't wipe, like you cannot wipe, so you need to squirt. Trust me, squirting is your friend. So expect some pain, but it'll go. It's okay, it'll go. I can't imagine women who have a C-section. That's the one thing I really wanted to avoid so much, was having a C-section. It was my worst nightmare. I don't know why. I think just the thought of it is major surgery at the end of the day, and just the idea of having to heal after that just really, you know, if you've had a C-section, hats off to you, because I was in enough pain not having a C-section and just having a few stitches, let alone having to, you know, pick up baby and do everything and you need to do with that. So if you've had one of those, hats off to you. That's a whole nother ball game. Breastfeeding is hard. And I had it pretty easy, I think. So don't feel like if it's not going easy for you, if you are breastfeeding, that it's, you know, you're going to have the good moments and the bad moments. And I remember just kind of panicking when she wasn't latching on properly. At some point she would kind of like panic herself and wouldn't latch on, and I was start panicking because I'm like, oh, like, is she okay? What does she need? Or I kind of get her on, what's happening? So be prepared to feel that way, and that's okay, and just keep asking questions. And when I was at the hospital, I just asked so many questions from the nurses on, you know, if I was doing things correctly, what else I could do. She's doing this, she's doing that, what's that mean? So really ask questions. I did a lot of watching other YouTube videos on breastfeeding and things like that. They just gave me a bit more perspective. So don't stress if you have rough moments with breastfeeding. It's going to happen. And be open-minded. I know a lot of people just go, I need to breastfeed only. It's not always a realistic expectation. Our little girl was very little when she was born, and her blood sugar was a little low. So we had to supplement breastfeeding and a bit of formula while we were at the hospital. And I just thought to myself, you know, originally I really wanted to just breastfeed only, but at the end of the day, I need her to get what she needs. And, you know, it kind of just really changed my perspective. That instinct took over where I just thought, no, I want her to be healthy. I want her to have stable blood sugar. I want her to walk out of this us to leave the hospital, her feeling good and being healthy, so I don't care. So be a little open-minded. You might, you know, have a certain idea of everything in your mind, like birthing plan, how you're going to feed baby, what you're going to do with baby, and trust me, sometimes that just goes out the window, so you need to be open-minded and flexible. Something I really didn't expect to have was quite a bit of anxiety in the first week, especially when we brought her home. I just got this overwhelming feeling and this fear of her suffocating or not being okay. And I just came over me. Like, we actually had this plan of, oh, you know, she's gonna sleep in her room. We're a little naive, okay? Just leave us alone. She's gonna sleep in her room. We'll be fine. We'll have a camera. I want her to sleep in her room and not get used to sleeping in our room. Yeah, that went out the window. The first few days, I really felt I couldn't, something I really struggled with, I really felt I couldn't let her out of my sight in terms of sleeping while she sleeps. I just couldn't sleep while she was sleeping unless my husband was awake. So for about 3 days, we took shifts on staying awake while she was sleeping, which was a very bad idea because that ruins you very quickly in terms of exhaustion. I was ruined, he was ruined, and we really had to figure it out. We had a little co-sleeper for the first week, and we decided to have her in our room. The co-sleeping thing doesn't work for me. I just don't really like it. I just have this fear of I'm going to roll on and squash her in the middle of the night, or she's going to roll off somehow. I don't know. And then we actually took a mattress and put it in her room for a little bit, which worked quite well, but it wasn't really feasible because all that stuff was in our room and like it just wasn't really working. So we actually found what worked best was getting a bassinet and putting it next to our bed and just grabbing a bunch of stuff of hers and putting it in our room. And that has really let me be able to sleep while she's sleeping. I think I kind of still sleep with one eye open. And something I will say is, you as a mum, and other mums told me that don't worry, you're going to hear any sound she makes when she's asleep. And I just thought, well, what if I sleep through things? What if I don't? And you really do. It's like a sixth sense. I can't believe it. You just know. And a lot of the time I wake her up as soon as she's waking up and she's fussy or hungry or something like that. So it's pretty incredible. So don't have the expectation of just being able to, like, you know, leave your baby to be, because I just couldn't. That for me was a big struggle, and I'm still kind of dealing with that. We're in week 2 right now and I'm still dealing with that, and that's okay. So week 1, anxiety and kind of that fear of not wanting to let them out of your sight is normal, and it takes a little work to just let everything go. I did a lot of talking to my husband and really expressing how I felt to kind of get over it. Let's be real, I'm still not over it, but I'm a lot better than I was. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that anxiety week 1 was overwhelming. A lot of tears from me, but we're doing good. We're doing a lot better. Let's talk about sore nips, the sore nip situation. Oh. Nipple butter is saving my life, that's all I'm gonna say. Your nipples will get very sore from all the breastfeeding, and luckily mine aren't cracked or anything like that. I've religiously been putting nipple butter on since the hospital. I packed it with me. As soon as she started breastfeeding, I would put it on after almost every feed, at least a couple of times a day, and that's saved me, it's done wonders. But breastfeeding still hurts. I don't know, it still hurts when she latches on and she's like, like trying to feed. I'm like, ah, and for some reason my left one hurts more than my right one. I don't know why, but that's something I did expect to experience some soreness, but I think I'm quite lucky. I've heard some horror stories in terms of nipples and what they go through, so hopefully I don't endure that. But right now they're just a little bit sore and not too crazy. It's more just when she feeds. It's just so many things. Your body's just going through so much, and then you're like, something, little human latching onto you every couple of hours, and your nips hurt and you're swollen, and you know you still got a belly, and you still, you know, there's just so much happening. There's so much going on down there. Things hurt down there, and It's a lot to take in. And plus you have a little human to care for. It really is. Okay, I expected to be tired, but this is next level tired. I'm great today actually because I had like a whole bunch of naps, which was awesome. I haven't slept this much since I got home from the hospital. But overall, I didn't expect her to be cluster feeding, especially towards the end of the first week. I think she's having a bit of a growth spurt at night time. She just wanted to feed. Oh, it's so brutal. It really is. And that feeling of, you know, she's in her cot and she's fussing again after you put her down and she's hungry. And in my mind, I'm like, no, just let me sleep. But what I didn't expect to happen was as soon as I pick her up and you look into that little face, it's all fine. You just don't even care. You care for a minute when you're trying to wake up and then you stop caring because she's just so beautiful. Something I didn't realize was how much help I would actually need. And you're just so tired that you just want to sleep. So I could get all these things done, like cooking, cleaning, all the rest of it, if I didn't have to sleep at all while baby was sleeping. But you got to realize that's a huge job that you're doing, especially when you're breastfeeding. You know, your body's going through a lot. You're trying to heal your body. Sleep is important for healing as well. And you can't do it all. I'm not the person that likes to accept help from others, especially if they're not my immediate family or anything like that. But one thing we did do for a couple of days was say yes to help from friends, offering to bring us food over. Such a godsend. Say yes to that, because we didn't have time to prepare anything beforehand because the baby came a couple of weeks early and we didn't expect that. So we hadn't done any grocery shopping. The house was a mess. Like, we just had not prepared at all. She came on the weekend that we were going to do all that. Say yes to any help and don't be afraid to ask for help. And we luckily at the moment have had both grandmas, both mums come stay with us, and they have been amazing. I'm super lucky with that. And they've been doing some cooking for us and just helping, you know, things like I'll be sitting there and baby spat up. I forgot to get the towel. I'm like, Mum, can you just pass me a towel? Things like that. Or can you pass me some water? And hubby's been amazing. Oh, he's absolutely incredible. Just making sure I have everything I need. And that's super important, is getting that help and support from your spouse, getting help and support from your friends. If you need to, don't be afraid to ask, because it is a huge, obviously I expected it to be a huge task and a huge adjustment. The little things make a big difference, and I didn't realize how much just the small things, having someone to come and help you out with, just helps so much. Even just be like, can you make me a tea, or can you just get me a water, or can you just do this? Just little things, and it's just a huge stress relief. So if you do have that luxury, take it. Don't be stubborn like I usually am. Make sure you take it. Well guys, that is my first week 1 update. It's been a huge adjustment, like I said, and I'm going to update you guys every week on how things are going and how she's doing and the things I'm learning, because I'm learning something every single day, and it's so rewarding. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever experienced in my whole life, and at the same time it's so overwhelming. And crying's been okay. Once I cry I feel better. Yeah. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see any more videos like this, if you have any topic requests, comment below, let me know. What was your experience in your first week postpartum, if you're already a mum? Or are you a mum to be and you're kind of scared of things happening after birth? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm learning too. I'm still learning. I don't know it all. Definitely do not know it all at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to survive every day, really. So any tips if you're already a mum? Any tips you have, share them below, because I'd love to know a little bit more about what's going on with this whole parenthood thing. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.